Yes, just as you saw in the thumbnail of the video, in the build of Ananta that we have at TGS, we have not had the ability to purchase property or businesses in any way, shape or form. We also have not heard from the devs if this is going to be added to the game. Now, if I'm wrong, you can correct me in the comments, but because of this, I consider it a feature that is currently not available in Ananta. But it is a feature that is available in NTE. In the most recent beta that NTE had, you had the ability to purchase different kinds of businesses and be able to put the different characters that you got in the gacha as staff in those businesses, as well as being able to purchase living quarters that you can customize to your liking. Hey, what is up guys, it's Mordant. Now, before I get into this video, I want to make something extremely very clear. This video is not meant in any way, shape or form to cause any form of controversy. I know there are people who are genuinely interested in knowing the differences and similarities between these two games, and that is what I'm trying to highlight in this video. I also know that Ananta is not going to be a gacha game, but it doesn't mean that these two games are not similar games that will be competing against each other. So I don't want to see any comments about this being an unfair comparison. And even though TGS is ending today, the Ananta coverage from my channel is not stopping. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of those videos. And if you're interested in news videos, challenge videos, discussion videos, or lore videos for any of the games that you can see on screen right now, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. All the links are in the description. But with that being said, let's first talk about the similarities between these two games before we get into some differences between them. So, one of the biggest similarities between these two games is the fact that both of these games take place in a modern city, as opposed to their counterparts like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, which take place in a fantasy world and a post-apocalyptic world, respectively. Both of these games feature massive cities that both also feature supernatural aspects to them. Both of these games also feature cities that have some suburban areas that you can actually leave the city to actually go and explore. Both of these games also offer different means of transportation with cars, motorcycles, trains, and the games also provide you with the ability to purchase and customize your vehicles in the game. Now, I want to make a little bit of a disclaimer here. Ananta in the TGS build did not have the ability to actually customize your vehicles, but the developers actually did confirm that it is going to be coming. So for that reason, I'm actually going to list it here as something that we know is actually going to be coming to the game. If it hasn't been officially confirmed or we haven't actually seen it, then I won't count it for Ananta. Another massive similarity between these two games is the fact that both of these games allow you to play as multiple characters. Now, the way that they actually implement the multiple characters differs, but we will get to that in the differences between the two games. But yes, these two games offer you the ability to play as different characters who have different abilities and different ways of traversing the city. And those really are the main similarities between the two games. And now we can actually start talking about the differences. For the first difference, let's talk about the multiple playable characters that are in the game. Now, the way that Ananta does it is that you are given all of these characters for free and you get them by playing the story of the game. NTE instead goes with a gacha system where every single patch, or basically every single month, you will get a new character and you will be given the chance to roll for that character using in-game currency or currency that you purchase with real money. But for Ananta, you do not need to spend any form of money or currency in order to be able to get the characters that are in the game. And this also smoothly leads us into the monetization of these two games. This is one of the biggest differences between them. Ananta's main source of revenue is going to be through skins, cosmetics, either for the characters themselves, for cars, for houses, but NTE is going to be focusing on the character gacha as the main source of revenue for the game. Combat is also another area that these two games massively differ in. NTE focuses on a team-based system where you have 4 different characters who all have different elements that they can control, working together and trying to mix their elements in order to be able to deal as much damage as possible. And in order to be able to maximize the amount of damage that you can do in NTE, you need to level up your characters and their weapons, as well as fit those characters with the correct gear that can actually boost their attack power and all of their elemental abilities. Ananta though takes a very different approach. Ananta allows you the freedom to choose what kind of combat style you want. Do you want to fight with your fists? You're allowed to. Do you want to pick up a gun and start shooting everybody? You are very free to. Do you want to pick up some objects in the world and start bashing people's heads with it? You can do that. But I will say that these two games do have one similarity when it comes to combat, which is the fact that both of these games have one skill and one ultimate that you can use per character. But Ananta, while it seems to have a leveling system, it's a system that the devs talked about, but we never actually got to see it, but the devs did talk about it. It doesn't seem to affect the amount of damage that you can do in the game. It might be tied to something else, which I am still going to talk about in another video, so make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss that video. So from here, I want to move on to the open world itself. Let's talk about one system that I really am surprised is actually not in Ananta's build at TGS. We all know that Ananta takes a lot of inspiration from GTA, Spider-Man, and many other games. But it was shocking to me when I discovered that you can basically do a lot of bad things in the city and there is no wanted system in Ananta. Yes, I had to look through a lot of clips, but I could not see any clips where you got into trouble for doing any bad things in the city. But NTE does in fact have a wanted system. It works with 3 stars. 1 star is basically what I like to consider 1 star in GTA games. 2 stars though is like 3 stars, and then the 3rd star for NTE is basically like 6 stars, where law enforcement comes out in full force to try to hunt you down. It's something that I'm very surprised was not in the Ananta build, and since the devs have not said anything about it actually coming to the game, I'm not going to count it for them. Now, one other difference that I forgot to mention when it came to the characters is the customization that is available for those characters. To my knowledge, NTE does not have the amount of clothing customization that you have in the game. The game does have car customization, but we don't know about character customization. I don't believe you can change the costumes that the characters have in NTE. This is a very shaky point and I am welcome to be proven wrong here. And the reason why I'm so unconfident about it is because I actually just remembered this while I was actually recording. So if I am wrong, please correct me down in the comments. The last difference that I want to talk about in this video is the job system that is in the game. So the devs of Ananta have confirmed that most of the characters in the game are going to have jobs. Now, these jobs are going to allow the characters to be able to level up. What we get for leveling up the characters, we still do not know. But this is something that NTE does not have. Your characters just exist in the world. Unless you want to consider what I talked about at the beginning of the video, where I mentioned that if you purchase a business, you can put one or more of the characters that you've already gotten in the gacha as personnel in that business. And in that sense, technically you could look at it as a job, but it doesn't really have the same effect. For example, Richie is part of the NCCA, and because of that, she is the only character out of the playable characters that were available at TGS that is able to arrest citizens, that is able to administer breathalyzer tests, that is able to issue warrants, that is able to release people if they've already been arrested. No other character in the game is actually able to do that. Taffy, from what I've heard, is a delivery driver, and this is why one of the missions that we have her doing is her delivering a puking vampire to some supernatural enthusiasts. But NTE does not have any system like this, And while it's a small thing, it is still a difference between these two games. Now, there should still be more differences between these two games, but all of the ones that I've talked about are the ones that really stood out to me. Let me hear other differences that you guys have noticed between the two games down in the comments. I will be reading every single comment. There have been so many comments for the past few days that I have been struggling to keep up with all of them, but I am reading the comments and I will try to catch up with every single person's comments. So please leave your comments down below. And if you've watched all the way to this point, I want to really thank all of you for getting us to 2,500 subscribers. I have been saying for the longest time that the goal for the year was 5,000 subscribers, and the fact that we've gotten halfway to that goal is absolutely massive. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Please keep on supporting the channel. I have 2 other videos that aren't Ananta videos planned. One Silver Palace video, which I still do not know what to talk about. If you guys have any ideas for what I should talk about for Silver Palace, please let me know down in the comments. And also a Wuthering Waves video. Both of these videos will come out sometime soon. Stay tuned for those. Thank you all so much for watching once again. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.